Hi, I'm Jule Ann Lieberman, and I'm a certified low vision therapist and assistive technology professional working at Pennsylvania's Initiative on Assistive Technology, a program at the Institute on Disabilities at Temple University. And with me today is my son Matthew, and he's going to assist us in giving us a demonstration of good human guide technique. And we call it human guide technique because a person with vision loss can also provide support as a guide for another person with vision loss. In fact, today that's what's happening. Anyway, let's get started. First, Matthew is going to be wearing a sleep shade. One of the things I wanted to let you know that most people you encounter that may need assistance with mobility that have vision loss may have some functional vision. So even though these tips may appear to be for someone who is totally blind, persons with whatever level of vision loss may be able to benefit from these type of techniques so that they can provide it with mobility, safety, and with some grace and self-esteem. So going further, we're going to start out with going into positioning. Now Matthew is a little taller than I am, so he's got a couple different options for being in the right position. But rule number one is that the person doing the guiding should be in front. You're doing the leading. You're not doing pulling, you're not doing steering. So if I came up to Matthew right now and I grabbed his arm like this, it would put him off balance. If I try to pull him this way, you don't feel too comfortable like that, do you?
No.
Okay, so we want to make sure that you make it for the most graceful position as possible. So the first thing you want to do is ask somebody if they would like to take your arm. So Matthew, would you like to take my arm?
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, so right now he has grasped my arm slightly above my elbow. That's a very comfortable position for him in order to travel. An alternative would be if he takes his hand and places on my shoulder. That way he can be guided that way too. Someone who's very tall might find this a lot more comfortable if you were a person that there's a big difference in the height. If he was a small child, for example, the best way would be for the small child to hold on to the wrist or my hand, and then that way we can travel safely. But it's usually better for an adult for them to hold on to just below the elbow or on top of the shoulder. So that's our position, so we should be ready to go. Most times the guide is about a half a step ahead of the person that they're leading. Matthew's new to vision loss as of just a few minutes ago, so he's maybe a little hesitant in walking. Persons that are experienced with human guide technique may feel more comfortable for you to walk faster. You can tell very soon as you start walking whether the person is hesitating or not. So we're going to start forward and we're going to make a couple of turns before we get to our seat. Forward, let's go. We're going to be moving down the hallway in narrow spaces. Although this isn't too narrow, it's a good idea to put your arm behind. That way it tells the person that it's easier to step behind to be clear. Now we're going to enter a door. Doors can be tricky because first off, the person who has vision loss may not know which way the door is opening or closing. So that's one of the first verbal hints that you want to give. Also, just like in narrow spaces, it's usually easier for a person to pass single file through a door rather than going through doorways two at a time. So Matthew is going to remain behind me. My arm is behind my back, and I'm going to open the door. I'm going to follow right now. The door, Matthew, is opening on my left and is heading into the room. So you can proceed right behind me. So the door will be swinging and opening on your right side. Okay, now we're going to move out into the hallway again, and we're approaching a door. Quite the reverse of the last time. This time the door is going to be coming toward us. So I'm going to tell Matthew, the door is ahead of us and it's opening. The door is on the handles on the right. It'll be pulling toward us and it'll be opening on your left side. And then we're going to move through. Okay, now we're going to move to a chair. So Matthew, I'm going to put my hand on the back of this chair, okay? And then you can put your hand on the back. And you'll notice the back of the chair gives you a lot of information. You can tell it's hard toward the back here and it's softer toward the front. So you can pull that chair away towards you, and then you can gracefully find the seat in front of you and then sit down and pull it back up to the table. Terrific. And we did talk about a chair seated at the table, but what happens if, say, for example, in your waiting room or in an office situation and the chairs are pushed against the wall? Can't get to the back of the chair quite as easily, or upholstered furniture, for example. But this is a good example of what you can do if the chair is against the wall and the person needs assistance to be seated. The best advice I can give you is put your hand on the seat of the chair, and they can once again locate the seat. They can turn around and sit comfortably. So Matthew is going to come ahead with me. Matt, I'll put my hand right down on the bottom of the chair. He's reaching out already as he felt me lean over, and he's going to sit down gracefully. Terrific. Another area which could be a difficult mobility is stairs. And what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate how best to go upstairs, and also then we're going to stop and do the reverse and come back down again. The advice I can give you for stairs is to give a lot of verbal information as well as your body movements. You'll also be able to assist him by letting him know what side the rail is on, so that the rail can also serve as a guide as he goes up the stairs. So we're going to start now with the first demonstration. Persons with vision loss actually find going downstairs a lot more difficult. You usually don't fall up, usually fall downstairs. So being very careful at the top of the stairs, and again using the same advice that you can let them know where the rail is, will also provide them with some great information. Each stair typically is of the same length and same height, so most persons can travel down safely. Sometimes steps are uneven widths, so it's a little more difficult, so you must be very careful and pause at the step before stepping down. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you found these tips very helpful to you. Keep in mind, rule number 1, never steer, never pull, always lead the person with vision loss. Offer assistance and verbal instructions when needed, and be comfortable, and let the other person know that they can be comfortable with you. Thanks very much and have a great day.